I am doing well. How are you
Good,
doing?
good to hear. I'm out here in Langley, British Columbia, and Scott is out in Campbell River.
Yeah,
And on Vancouver Island, how is the weather?
it was a warm one today, that's for sure.
Yeah,
Um, just enjoying the air conditioning since we have it.
yeah, that's right. I don't remember seeing an air conditioner there, or was it hiding somewhere?
Well, we just have the little boxes that you mount in the window, so we
Oh,
don't always have them in unless it gets hot.
that's right. So you're kind of relaxing. It sounds very, very quiet over there. The kids are somewhere else.
Yeah, they're visiting their grandmother on the mainland right now, so yeah, we're not quite sure what to do with ourselves at the moment.
Well, I know what to do with you.
Yeah,
Um, I am extremely excited for you that you are going to be making a trip to Israel in
yeah.
September, is it?
The end of September, yeah, into the beginning of October. It's actually timing out to happen during the Feast of Sukkot in Jerusalem.
Ah, really?
So that's the one where the basic gist of Sukkot is you would set up what they call a sukkah, and you would dwell in that sukkah for 7 days.
Right.
And it's commemorating Israel wandering around the desert for 40 years, where they had to live in tents or sukkahs.
Hmm. Well, so that sounds like an expensive trip.
Yeah, it's not cheap, but I've been quite blessed to have some amazing friends. And this one friend of mine, very good friend, Kevin, he asked me if I wanted to go. He is actually offered to kind of help me offset some of the costs because it is rather pricey, and he's still a bachelor where I've got a family, so he has
Yeah.
a little more financial leeway in some regards. So we're hoping to be able to cover most of the bills ourselves, but the backup is there if we need it.
Yeah. So the big question I want to know is what's the first place you plan to visit when you get there? Like, what is it you really want to see?
Oh, that is a tough one to answer because there are so many different things I do want to see. A biggie is I can't remember the name of it, but it is the museum in Jerusalem where they're housing the Qumran scrolls or the Dead Sea Scrolls. And
Wow.
they have the full scroll of Isaiah in
Really? The
this.
original?
Yeah.
Oh,
Well, apparently it's not, the originals are not what's on display, but they are very, very, very high quality copies. So basically, they look like the originals.
wouldn't that be nice
But
if they were?
yeah, but it's in the original Paleo Hebrew, which is that's a neat experience just seeing that in and of itself. I'm a
Yeah.
little more used to looking at more of the modern Hebrew. I am familiar with like the Semitic Hebrew, the ancient Hebrew, and the Paleo Hebrew,
Right.
but to actually really see something practical like that would be pretty remarkable. So that's one. We really want to make an effort to get up to the Sea of Galilee. I mean, where how much time did Yeshua spend there?
Yeah.
On top of anything else, actually walking on it. So that would be pretty trippy.
Where is that where John the Baptist baptized Jesus?
No, he baptized him in the Jordan.
You got to go there too, huh?
Well, the Jordan River, because it's fairly long, so
Yeah.
there's you can get to the Jordan River at any one of different places. So we will definitely be making a stop at the Jordan. Um,
Wouldn't that be something else to be able to get a rough idea on where John the Baptist actually was along that route where you
you
could
know, yeah, considering it's such a high tourist area, there's probably something there to
yeah.
indicate that. Another big one I just thought of, and I think you were mentioning this one in a previous conversation, is to just go up the Mount of Olives.
Yeah.
That's another significant one.
Oh man, I would absolutely love to go to the Mount of Olives just because of the history there.
Yeah. Well, everywhere. I mean, you can't go anywhere there without an enormous amount of history.
Yeah.
At some point, we wanted to kind of take a day or two and go over, not specifically to Tel Aviv, but there's a small community that's just right on the outskirts of Tel Aviv. And oh boy, I got to try and remember this guy's name. I believe, if I remember right, it's Eliezer Ben Yehuda. But he
That
is,
sounds familiar.
yeah, he's credited with really bringing the Hebrew language back to life. I mean, it more or less was a dead language that not really anyone was using anymore. There were still variations of it, like Yiddish and stuff like that, but straight Hebrew, because everyone was basically dispersed from the country. It wasn't really, it was more or less a dead language. And
So
he was a huge part. Whoops, there goes my phone. It was a huge part of bringing that language back. And he lived in this little community, which is just right outside or on the outskirts of Tel Aviv.
so the big question, another big question I have for you is, I know there's a lot of people that go to the Wailing Wall and they put their little prayers in the wall there. And is that
Yeah,
something you're going to do?
that's another stop we would like to make, is the Western Wall.
Yeah.
Um,
To
Whether or
get a
not
look at how big that thing really is. I mean, when
that's
you
part of
look
it.
when you look at the there's a camera that you can look at the Wailing Wall.
Yeah.
It's the Cotel, and they call it there, and it just looks massive. These little people are standing there. I can only imagine what that looks like when you're standing right there.
And you think that's just one small part of the wall. Yeah.
Well, how massive was this temple, for crying out loud?
Well, I mean, you get the dimensions, but it's always hard for me to make the conversions, because, of course, in scriptures, it's all given to us in these cubits. And we know that a cubit is somewhere effectively from fingertip to elbow,
Yeah,
or
that's
a
right.
little bit greater than that is one cubit. So
Yeah,
when you count, 500 cubits wide and blah, blah, blah.
and you're going to visit Yeshua's. Do you believe that tomb is where he was laid?
Oh, in the Garden of Gethsemane,
Yeah,
um, it seems pretty likely.
yeah.
Um, the difficulty with that one, I don't want to get too.
He must be
It's
getting
it's
excited about
it's
this.
it's in a part of town that is not always the most easily accessible. I'll say that.
Hmm. Well, plus the tourism, the people there. I mean,
Well, that's a big one, because we're going to be there during Sukkot. Like, we don't
oh
know that
wow.
we're actually going to be able to get up to the Western Wall. So,
You're
because I
picking a good time to go there. You're gonna go there what? During the whole is that's very close to the holiest time of the year, but that's not quite the holiest feast, is it?
No, Yom Kippur
Yeah,
happens, which that would be the biggest one. That
that's right.
happens. What is it? So it's on the 10th day of the month is Yom Kippur, and then on the
Hmm.
15th day of the month starts. So 5 days earlier.
Okay. So what happens? You're there, Kevin's there, you guys are doing your thing, and all of a sudden Iran, Hezbollah, and all these fools that are all constantly trying to attack Israel start something. What are you gonna do?
My very best to keep myself in the will of God. I
No,
have said it. I have
run
said
to Petra.
it. Yeah, but I've said it many times that there's nowhere safer to be than in the will of God.
Well, I don't think there's any place safer to be than in Israel, to be honest with you.
There, I mean, aside from outside influences, there's also apparently a lot of protests happening there
Yeah,
right now, with some changes they've made in
to their
Israeli law.
government.
Yeah,
The Israeli government's more or less trying to create a religious law that people don't have really any rights, and they're not happy with it, which is
yeah,
kind of surprising. I didn't see that coming from Benjamin Netanyahu. I didn't. He just didn't come
no.
across to be someone that would do something like that. But be aware that when you are there and you see some commotion, that people are being told to leave, don't go back and get your coat, whatever, you know where to go, right?
Okay, Petra.
Yeah. Follow the Jews.
Yeah, pretty much,
Yeah,
right?
wouldn't that be funny? You're in the crowd in the midst of all of them, and I'm just a visitor.
Yeah.
Yeah, But no, that's pretty exciting. So, and you know what's funny? Israel is about the size of the state of New Jersey. It's not very big,
No,
and but there's just so much. I mean, are you going to see Tel Aviv, or is that not on your list?
that's what we're saying. We're talking about going to that community that's kind of just outside of Tel Aviv. You kind of need to go to Tel Aviv to get there.
Well, isn't
Um,
that where the airport is near Tel Aviv?
well, yeah, we'll be landing in Tel Aviv.
Yeah,
Um, yeah, we want to spend like 90% of our time is going to be in and around Jerusalem.
yeah.
But we were thinking of a day or two over in the Tel Aviv area. It would be neat just to see the Mediterranean. I
You
mean,
guys
from
gonna
my
rent a car?
standpoint, I'm 51 years old and I have never been outside of North America.
Ah,
I've been all over Canada. I've been all over, well, all over the western half of the United States, but that's
yeah,
it.
yeah,
So this is my first trip anywhere, and to just see the Mediterranean is an experience for me.
yeah. Well, just think. I don't know how long the flight is, but when
But I
you
think it's about 10 hours.
okay, that's not that bad. Um, is there like a is there do you have to stop somewhere in between, or is it straight flight?
No, there's a short layover. I believe it's in Montreal, and then it's Montreal to Tel Aviv.
Hmm. Excuse me. Ah, you're
I
just
know
so
the feeling.
boring to talk to. I'm kidding. No, it's just
Yeah,
I haven't had a whole lot of sleep in the last little while. I've been working hard on the videos, getting those up.
yeah.
I finished my main trucking video and a really good Bible break on the man of lawlessness. Like I said, some people won't like it. I think you'll like it.
Yeah.
Um, but
It's not always the most popular topic, but it's an important one.
yeah. Um, so you're going to be there, what, 2 weeks?
2 weeks. Yeah.
2 weeks. You're going to rent a car,
No.
a rickshaw,
Nope. We're pretty much
electric bikes.
most of everything that we're interested in doing really is within walking distance.
Really?
So we're pretty much going to be walking to most of everything. For the slightly bigger trips, like the Sea of Galilee, it's that one is going to require a cab
A
ride or a
cab.
car ride or something
Yeah.
to get up there. It's a little bit north of town. Obviously, getting to Tel Aviv, we'll have to figure out something there.
Are you going to take part in any of the tours that they have there? Like they have a lot of guides there. I don't know what they charge,
No,
but are you just going to do your own thing?
no, and this is kind of a Kevin thing. And I agree with him. Is to just get there and do your thing, so you can see what you want to see when you want to see it. Um, Now, I would say Chris and I are talking about going back to Israel at some point, the two of us. But we
Right.
already discussed if we did that, we would be interested in doing it as a part of a Messianic or Hebrew Roots tour. There's several people that have some really good tours over there that take you to some very interesting places that Kevin and I will probably not go to. One example of that would be the they have found the ruins of Sodom and Gomorrah.
Oh yeah.
Like there's really nothing left of it, but you go there and you can see mounds of dirt that are still roughly in the shapes of foundations of buildings and stuff. And when
And
you sift
sulfur.
through it, you find little pieces of brimstone
Yeah. And
all over the
sulfur.
place. Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's a rough area. There's some real dangers with wildlife and lions and stuff. So any
Nice.
people that go there usually have to go there armed, and it is like brutally hot. So you're not going to be spending a whole lot of time there.
It's bad enough they had to sit in hot conditions, but then they get nuked.
Yeah, pretty much.
Right?
Pretty
But
much.
hey, keep your hands to yourself, and that wouldn't have happened, right?
There you go.
Um, so how do you think you're going to fare as for what you have learned? You know, I know you've been doing a lot of research regarding the Hebrew language. You've been learning Hebrew. Do you think you're going to be able to do the basic communications with people there, or do you think you'll
You
still
know,
need a translator?
no, my conversational level of Hebrew is exceedingly low. It's
Yeah.
basically the hellos, goodbyes, excuse me, where's
Yeah,
the
but you can
bathroom.
read it though. You read the signs, okay?
I'm better at reading it, yeah. So
Oh,
I can
okay.
read signs and do a pretty good job with that.
Right on. Yeah, well, that sounds absolutely exciting. The next time you choose to go back and you want to set up a group, I'll probably get involved with that.
You
Um,
know what?
bec-
When Chris and I are ready to go, we will absolutely be looking you up.
yeah, because it'll give me, well, I mean, if we have an advance warning when we're going to do this,
Oh
then it'll
yeah,
give
no,
us
no. I mean,
opportunity.
when Chris and I are ready to do this, we're probably, we're going to make this decision and start working towards it for like at least a year,
Yeah.
probably maybe even closer to 2 years before we're actually going.
The thing
God,
that's,
God willing, God.
yeah, the part that I find really funny is that right out of the blue, you get this invite to go, and before you know it, you're like, "Yeah, I'm going." And I don't think it's really sunk into you yet because it happens so fast. But I
No.
think, when are you departing?
As September 26th.
Okay, so I'm guessing a week before you're going to start getting the butterflies and everything else, and it's going to finally
I
sink into you.
Yeah, I'm already having a little bit of that. I'm anticipating the full on anxiety attacks.
Like,
Start doing Le Mans.
yeah. How do you like flying?
I'm okay with flying.
Yeah,
If I have one issue, it's I've got some problematic knees.
yeah.
And the
You need some
problem I
space
run into is I
seating.
need a combination of standing and sitting and kind of mix it up. So to
Yeah.
be stuck in one of these cramped seats, I mean, I'm 6 foot 300 pounds. So, I'm not petite and I am scrunched into these seats on buses and planes and all that stuff. So I am a little apprehensive about being cramped in a seat for, yeah, 8 hours, 9 hours, something like that for the flight.
Well, let's hope that that flight that you're on um, is a big jet where you have plenty of room, not like on a WestJet where you're like this. I don't know
Yeah.
if you've ever been on one of those, but not the most comfortable flight in the world, I'll tell you.
Hey, you never know. With man, it's impossible, but with God, all things are possible. I
Yeah.
may get on that airplane and they're like, you know what? We had a last second cancellation. How'd you like to sit up in first class?
Yeah,
Uh-huh.
right.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's
it's
got a
possible.
recliner. It's got a recliner. Yeah, I wonder what it would cost extra to get you that because I think the first class do have recliners, don't they?
Oh yeah, no, they're full size seats with full leg room and everything. Like, yeah,
Wow.
yeah, I think you can recline and yeah.
Yeah. Hmm.
I am, by the way, I am still threatening that I'm just going to take a fully unreasonable amount of pictures and videos. I'm going armed with multiple cameras, with multiple 256 gig storage cards. I'm just going to be doing a lot. One of the things that I want to do is take possibly a 30-minute video, maybe, yeah, probably around 30 minutes or so, and I can use that as a backdrop video in my future videos. That's one of the little plans that I have.
Yeah.
But
Well, you're
yeah,
gonna have to
every
get one.
stop we go to, I'm going to be taking pictures and videos.
You're gonna have to do one from me. You're gonna have to do a video, put it up on the tripod where it's got the look, it's overlooking the Temple Mount, and you can see Jerusalem behind.
Yep.
And get that one where just when the sun is going down and record that for
Ooh,
about
yeah,
20 minutes or so. That would look really cool.
that'd be.
Um, yeah, there was one other thing I wanted to touch on too. Ay, ay, ay. I can't remember now. I can't remember now. So, oh yeah, that's one thing I wanted to say. And when you're down there, we are going to be touching base periodically. I don't know if it will be every couple of days or whatever, where we'll get together for about 15 minutes and do a live stream and
Yeah,
see where you're
yeah,
at. And it'll be, I don't know what the time difference is over there. But we're going to have to try to work something out. I
yeah.
can't.
It's
Do you know what the time difference is?
I'd have to look, but it's significant. It's at least 8 to 10 hours difference.
Okay. So
So pretty much when it's the middle of the night here, it's the middle of the day there, and vice versa.
so maybe there at 8 o'clock at night, it could be like 6 o'clock in the morning over here.
Something like that. Yeah.
Yeah, but that would work. We'd be able to pull that off. Sure. Absolutely.
Yeah, I wouldn't be doing it every day, but like
No.
you said, I mean, do it once or twice a week.
Yeah.
Let's say a couple times a week,
Yeah.
right? So that's
Like every
four or
every
five times. We'll hook up and
yeah, maybe connect on a Wednesday or a Monday and then connect again at the end of the week or on the weekend
yeah.
just to see how, how things are going and that you're not on your way to Petra. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, you know what, friend? I'm really happy for you. I hope that works out, and I'm sure our YouTubers are excited for you too. And yeah, it's I'm looking forward to seeing how you're gonna respond to that and how you're gonna report from there and just the overall experience that something like that is a life. I mean, it's you're going on a pilgrimage.
Oh,
It's a
I mean, say it. I'm fully thinking that this is a life changing
sure.
experience for me. Yep.
It will be a life-changing experience. It'll be um I think you'll come back looking like Moses.
I'm expecting to be heavily tan.
You're
Yes.
gonna be you're gonna be tanned and all your hair is gonna be white. He's
I know you
seeking
don't really
God.
necessarily see it through these cameras, but I have very, very blue eyes, light blue eyes.
Yeah.
And when I get deeply tanned, it almost looks like I've got these little flashlights in my head.
I know the feeling. Yeah. Mine aren't quite as blue as yours, but when I'm tanned, you can really see my
Yeah.
eyes. They really, really stand out.
Yep.
So that's
There's one
cool.
other random little bit of good news I'd love to share with people.
Hmm.
So I'd been mentioning in my last couple of videos as I've been going through the book of James, and my next videos for that will be coming up pretty soon. But one of the things that I struggle with is at my job, I do these shift rotations. And there's a couple of shifts in these rotations every couple of months. This happens where it's a very, very early start. I'm basically getting up at about quarter after 3 in the morning to
Jeez.
get ready to go to work. And that entire month that I'm doing that shift, I am in a fog. I'm not thinking clearly. I'm barely cognizant of where I am. It is a challenge just to string a sentence together. And so it's like I told people, um, I can't really get into the really in-depth videos because I like to do a good amount of research and I want to have as many scriptures as possible. But to focus on that stuff, I just don't have it in me doing those early starts when I'm that mentally exhausted. So I have to wait until I'm off that rotation to get into the real meaty stuff. Well, the good news is I had a bid in to get a particular position, which would give me set solid 9 to 5 hours in a pretty relaxed office. And I just got that position.
And you're the only one there, right?
Yeah, I'm in that building on my own and it's relatively quiet. So I'll actually have opportunities where I can do some video scripting and research while I'm at work and have it
Hmm.
ready to go for when I get home.
You could you could go to work and walk around in bare feet.
Pretty much. Yep. Just wandering around in my tidy whities and when a customer does come in, throw on the bathrobe and
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, throw on a bathrobe. You'll look like what's his name there? Hugh Hefner.
yeah,
Yeah, they'd be like, "What's this guy up to?" Yeah,
yeah.
well, congrats. I'm
He's
I'm
like,
really
I'm just
happy.
gonna turn around and go to the other post office. Yeah.
The one that's 400 miles away. No problem. Yeah. Well, that's awesome. Really happy for you. Well, it
Yeah.
sounds like to me God's really blessing you. I mean, He's given you a wonderful trip to the Holy Land, and I mean, I will say, if I didn't have some skin coloration from the sun, I would probably be very green with envy right now
Yeah.
that you're going. I mean, it's not that I would not be able to go. God's blessed me with a brain to save money, but the company that I'm with right now, they're very busy right now, and it would just be an injustice if I said, "Oh, I'm leaving for 2 weeks." I couldn't do that to them. That's
Yeah.
why I'm figuring if there's another chance to go and we know 6 months in advance, that's different. We can plan it. They can
Yep.
plan to have someone using my truck at that time, and also that gives us opportunity to save the money and
Yep.
prepare whatever, right?
Yep.
And so next time. Absolutely next time. And hopefully by that time, the Antichrist isn't ruling because that'll be difficult.
That's what I said. God willing.
We'll just show up there. Hey, there's a guillotine with my name on it. Yeah. Yeah.
It is there. There's a blessing and a prayer often used in Hebrew culture, which
Yes.
I always thought was very poignant and powerful. Basically, kind of paraphrasing it, I don't necessarily remember it word for word, but it's basically, thanking God that He has kept us alive and preserved us, so we're still here, we're still breathing, we're still functional because we're getting our daily food, we're getting our rain,
Yes.
everything to keep us going, that He has kept us alive and preserved us for just such a time as this.
Yeah. Awesome. Well, how about you finalize our stream, our live stream? Well, it's actually not technically live. Friends, we're testing this stream where we can do this interview style stream, and
Yep.
we're doing it live between myself and Adrian. But
Live tape, as it were.
yeah, so it'll be made public soon. Well, when you're now that you're seeing it now, this was pre-recorded. Um, but why don't you know uh, the Hebrew blessing? Why don't you share that with us?
Here's one that I've actually been teaching Autumn and Abigail, and we say this one each night as we're getting the girls ready for bed. So I will leave, or we can wrap it up on this one. Baruch atah Yehovah Eloheinu melech haolam, asher natan lanu et derech haYeshua, b'Mashiach Yeshua, Baruch hu, Sar Shalom. And that says, "Blessed are you, Yehovah our God, King of the universe, which gave us the way of salvation in the Messiah Yeshua. Blessed is he, Prince of Peace."
Awesome. Well, thank you, my friend, my dear friend. Always a pleasure to hang out with you. And yeah, let's touch base again real soon.
Yeah.
Hopefully, we'll do something on truth and testimony regarding some events that are going on. And yeah, looking forward to seeing how things work out with you on your trip. Thank you again,
Yeah.
my friend.
And I do like having this option open to kind of do this live
Yeah,
thing.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's nice. It's really cool. Yeah, technology, you got to love it. All right, friend. God bless you in the name of Yeshua.
Blessings to you as well, and everyone else.
Yes, and thank you everyone for joining us. Until next time, again, blessings in the name of Yeshua. Bye for now.
Bye bye.